It's time to take it to the bank, baby. Everybody, cheers. First National Bank of Central Texas. You see the logo. Dan Ingham in the house, baby. Great to have you. A lot to talk about this week. And the first thing I want to get your opinion on, okay, is Oklahoma State. Now, the reason I want to get an opinion on this is because it was pretty bad on Saturday. We knew it would be bad. We didn't know it would be that bad. So where does the program go from here? Like, do you think would Mike Gundy get let go in season? Or that could never happen, right?
Something would have to kind of spark to make that happen.
Okay.
I'd be surprised if it's midseason, but I mean, he keeps this up. I mean, they're not going to lose every game 69-3. But I mean, if it's another like 3-9 type season, then yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I think you got to make a change. I don't care if he's the winningest coach in school history. I mean, I realize that you can have an awful game 2 and be much better at the end of the season. But the delta between like the kind of program that Oklahoma State fans think they should be and what they saw on Saturday is pretty wide. And so I don't know if they can make up enough ground. I mean, he's got to have a kind of turnaround where they go like they got to get back to a bowl game, at least 7 wins, 6 wins. And it's hard to watch that game on Saturday and think they have the capability of doing that. Now, they've got talented players. They have to have a handful of them because they paid some money for some guys. But the clock is ticking. How about that? Yeah.
How have they fallen so far so fast? I mean, this was a team that was, when they did the poll last year, they were atop the Big 12 preseason.
Recruiting.
Yeah.
It's about players. I mean, I'm sure maybe Mike Gundy's made some, poor choices in coaching, that kind of thing, but he's known how to coach when he's got the players he's wanted. They have not recruited well. Interestingly, the next year's class is lining up to be one of the best they've had in a while because they've raised some more money for NIL, that kind of thing. And he's admitted his strategy was wrong with NIL. The first couple of years, he paid the guys on campus. He thought he should reward the ones who were there instead of going out and spending on guys to come in, except for a handful. And we saw how that worked. It didn't work out well at all. And so now they're actually paying to get guys in. But I think they had like 60-something new players on the roster. And so obviously they spent some money to get some talent, but there's no guarantee that's going to mesh and work. And so it all goes back to the dudes that they have there in recruiting, and it has not worked out. End of story.
What did you think at all? Are you familiar with the young woman, the AP poll voter, who people are kind of really
a little bit, just that she had Florida still too high or something like that. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, okay. she basically, USF beat Florida, and she like moved Florida up 2 spots, and she didn't even put USF, in the top 25. And her way of explaining it was kind of clumsy. And then the clip, of course, goes out, and everybody's all over her. There's a huge overreaction to this, as there always is, but it does shine a light on, wow, this is how we're doing the AP voting. And I know you being in local news for a long time, like my friend Madison Hawk, she was a news person in Knoxville. Yeah. She had a vote, for a while. Like, what do you think about that? The way that the top 25 is voted on, should it change? Like, is it archaic? I was curious to get your thoughts about this.
So, I mean, is it perfect? Probably not. But I just can't get that worked up over one person's vote in an AP poll that at the end of the day, it probably helps set the narrative a bit, but doesn't really determine all that much of anything. Yeah. I don't think the AP poll, is it even factored in when the committee's there at the end of the year for the play? So me personally, and I know this isn't a fun hot take or anything, I just can't get that worked up over one person's vote in early September. But I mean, how could you justify not putting Florida below South Florida? I don't understand how you could do that. And I think South Florida, I mean, they've legitimately had a couple good wins. I mean, so they're like the kind of team they're talking about that could maybe sneak in as one of the at-large bids for the
Group
playoff.
of 5.
So is it a bad poll? Yeah. Should she have, I mean, if she was truthful, she was like, man, I screwed up and I was busy. I'm writing a bunch and I didn't get it in there. That probably would have been the honest answer. But just like SIDs, when they do the coaches poll at midnight on Saturday night, but I just can't get that worked up over an AP poll. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, dude, and you know this just from being around it, working in media. Like, I mean, there's a lot of those ballots are just like, hey, like somebody else filling it out for somebody else.
I mean, how many times in a press box have you been handed like, and don't you hate this, by the way? This is kind of inside baseball. People might like, if you go to a big bowl game or a big event or a tournament, they usually have you vote for like an all tournament team. I'm sure you've done it, and I've done it many a times. And then they hand you the ballot like in the second quarter. You're like,
I was going to say second quarter.
Don't you hate that? Like, and so, but just to show you, that's how when they name the player of the game, that's how much thought is given into it. Sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it happens to us. It'll happen to you. So you have a game tomorrow night, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so it's
bingo. Good call.
Yeah. So it's on CW.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
You watch it there live, and you could also watch it online on KWTX.
That's right.
So who's the matchup? But by the way, I did say they'll ask us to pick the player of the game, or you tomorrow night early in the third quarter.
Colleen and Lake Belton. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good game.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're at the old Belton High School Stadium, Tiger Field over there. So yeah, get going tomorrow with Royden, Ogletree, and crew out there. But yeah, probably hear in our ear, hey guys, who's the player of the game? Because they got to get a package together for it, that kind of thing. So yeah.
But how about the Lake Belton kid? Is that where Micah, whatchamacallit went? The guy who went to Texas Tech? He's a wide receiver now?
He's bounced around a couple schools.
Well, no, only been at Texas Tech.
I thought he transferred. Okay, then
no, he didn't transfer, but he's not. I was curious to see what you thought about him, but now,
gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, he's
how much I know.
He was at Lake Belton. He went to Texas Tech. He's still there, and
good.
But he only has a couple catches this year, so I'm hoping things turn around for him because he's a 5-star guy,
big time. And that's just the way. I mean, there's no guarantee that that you're going to translate right away. That's just the number of kids who can make an impact right off the bat are pretty small.
That is a flaw. You want to talk about a flawed system? The stars and the 4 stars, the 5 stars. I mean, it is scary how flawed that deal is.
It's flawed. But I'd still, if I'm rooting for my team, I want more 4 and 5 stars than 3 and 2. I mean, that's just the reality of it, you know.
That's very true.
Is it perfect? Heck no. I can name tons of guys that I've seen over the years that were 2 and 3 stars that are playing the NFL now. But if I'm playing the odds, I want more 4 and 5 star kids. Yeah.
Thursday night, you sit down and you turn on the Cowboys, and your thoughts were what? Your first impression was what?
Winnable game that slipped away. Yeah. Like I'm actually pretty encouraged by the offense, and like so again, not an excuse guy, but both teams I think could say this. The game took a turn after that delay.
Yes.
And I was listening to an athlete who had no skin in the game say how challenging that is when you get your body ready to go, you're going, and then you take like an hour break like that. And so that's what we didn't see a single point after that rain delay. Scored. So I kind of give a pass after that, but Cowboys were driving there to take the lead and before they fumbled it up and then the rain delay. So long answer to say, I felt kind of encouraged. Like, I think their offense is pretty good. God, they really could have used an impact guy on the defensive line. But other than that, you know.
Well, I mean, so did you feel that pain, him not being there? Like, you can honestly, like I'm watching the game and like Mike Leslie's tweeting, and I love Leslie, but he's like, you know, Micah Parsons would have made this play, and he has like a video of where he made the exact play.
And that's very possible, especially with a quarterback like Hurts, because there aren't many guys who can match athleticism there, and Micah is one of those guys. But he could have made. But the reality is, they were still in the game. They had a chance to. Dak looked really good, I thought. CeeDee Lamb looked really good, minus some drops at the end that could have made a big difference. So, I mean, as long as they take care of business and win this week, then I'm feeling okay. They're a team that looks like if they stay healthy, they're going to be in the running for a playoff. And then they'll break our hearts in the playoffs. But I mean, but they're kind of that level of team, if I had to guess.
I would say it's renewed hope. I think we were so down on the Cowboys because of all the tumult in the offseason that I think we actually forgot that the offense did get better.
Well, and oddly, the Cowboys, and I say oddly because we bag on the Jones family and their decision making.
Yeah.
But if you look over the past 10, 15 years, and so they've drafted pretty well.
Yes, they have.
The number of players that they've drafted and that have turned into good players is very high. And so they just have made some not as sound decisions, in my opinion, a lot of other in the way they handle re-signing and signing and that kind of thing. But they've drafted well. So there's some talent there. There's no doubt about it.
All right, I'm putting you in charge of Baylor's marketing and public relations.
Okay.
And I'm let me ask you, because I'm already upset about this whole thing. When is the right time to start a Sawyer Robertson Heisman campaign?
So it's funny. I actually wrote that down before I came over here. So he only has the 18th best Heisman odds right now.
And that's ridiculous.
Well, and here's the deal. That's because they don't think Baylor's going to win enough games to win the Heisman. You've got to win a bunch of games, marquee games, to win the Heisman. It's maybe not fair, but right now he's plus 3,500 to win the Heisman, thanks to FanDuel right there.
I'm with you, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of like numbers and production and the fact that he is a huge reason they won that game last week against a ranked team on the road, I mean, there's no doubt you can't name 4 or 5 people who've had a better start to year than him.
No.
You just can't. And that just tells you how much of that Vegas thinks that Baylor is more of an 8-4 team, just making them instead of a 10-2 team that's got a chance to win the Big 12.
So do you think is that the mindset? And I really don't know. I'm not as tapped in maybe as I used to be, but like what was Baylor's record when RG3 won? Like
I believe they won over
10 games?
Yeah, they did not win the Big 12.
Okay.
But what he did, he had a couple things that some of his biggest moments were on nationally televised games.
Okay.
Like that OU game. And so Baylor had a clunker that year against Kansas on the road. This is every game being nationally televised. He did not play well. And this is when Kansas was like Kansas, and they barely beat Kansas. That game was not nationally televised. So no one saw him turn it over and not play as well. And so it worked out really well that his marquee moments, like beat OU on national TV, I believe it was on a Saturday night, and won it with a game-winning touchdown. And that was his Heisman moment because it was like late November. And so he really benefited from that. But they were a 10-win team as well. And so you got to get to that level and maybe have a big win. I mean, if Baylor can get a big win over TCU on national TV, that kind of thing. So
that's that's good insight though. Like the odds makers look at their schedule and they just say, hey, they're not favored to win enough games.
Odds makers don't care. They're not rooting for or against Baylor. You know what I mean? They're just saying we don't think that Baylor's going to do enough as a team for him to win the Heisman.
What did you think about? Did you watch the Baylor game?
Oh, that was awesome.
Hold on now. I got to tap into your. I need you to do a little media critique here. What did you think about the CW broadcast? You go first.
I thought it was okay. So if I'm being real honest, I don't know that I walked away with a strong opinion either way. I thought the umpire cam was a kind of cool idea.
Very cool.
I thought that was pretty cool, and I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen more of that. To be honest with you, I'm sure it sounds like something the XFL probably did at one point. But I don't know. I mean, so I'd be lying, Pete, if I said, man, I came away with strong opinions to that one.
No, I think,
is there a consensus out there that
No, there's not. I was just curious because you're kind of like a broadcast nerd like me.
I didn't feel like I was watching ACC propaganda. How about that? Because I know that they do all the ACC. I didn't feel like that at least.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's the fear you get when you're a network that does all one group of games, that kind of thing.
I thought it was good. I thought the guy who called the game, whose name I forget, apologize. I think he's a NASCAR guy.
There you go.
And I think that he found a spot, and I think it's somehow affiliated with some of the work he did on NASCAR. He's still connected through the CW, all those channels.
Yeah.
And so people I saw online, like NASCAR fans or whatever racing fans, were happy to see this guy on the call. And he was he had a great voice, and his calls were good. You could tell a couple times he was not a football guy, but overall, I would have given the guy an A-. I mean, I thought it was really good.
I'll make sure and tune into another CW game. I mean, seriously, I watch enough football now. I really kind of want to watch it with a stronger eye. If I'm being honest. Another
broadcast that has been sizzling this year, another outlet production, is the HBO, the Turner and the HBO games for the Big 12.
Yep.
They have gone all out, and that production is great. Just like the angles and all that stuff. That a lot of good
shows you that's a priority of theirs. And it's something they want to grow.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the bank. We have Dan Ingham. You're 0-1, by the way.
That's right. Last
week.
Am I. I thought Kansas had a chance to cover there at the end, but no.
So did I. I mean, honestly, I thought Kansas was going to win for a long time.
Yeah, it was a pretty even game for most of.
So I went down with the ship with you, which I was happy to go down with the ship because I told you yesterday I felt very good about that. I did. So we're 0-1. Remember, this is Monopoly money because one, we're in Texas, and two, what do I know? He knows stuff. So listen to him. But this is his pick for the week. Let's get it.
All right. So Texas Tech.
Scotty's going to keep you honest. Look, there it is.
Takes on Oregon State this weekend. All right. Texas Tech, they're crushing everybody, right? They got all this NIL money. They're doing well. They're 23.5-point favorites. They're going to cruise to victory, right? Not this week. It's a look-ahead game for Texas Tech. Look at the schedule. Who are they playing next?
Utah.
Massive game for Texas Tech. Big 12 title implications for both teams. Texas Tech, are they going to beat Oregon State? Yes, they're going to win. Can't you see them winning 42-21 and not covering?
That's
something
it.
Like that?
Yeah.
Oregon State plus 23.5. Take it to the bank.
I love it. Scotty Swingler, hell of a job, dude.
Did Scotty, did he agree? Does he agree, disagree?
He does. No, he puts it, you can't see it, but he's got a great graphic.
That a baby. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Nice. I love that.
Scotty's the man, dude. This guy is like really a special
Man, you got,
guy.
like I told you, you've got a good crew. Good. You guys got it going right here.
Oh,
look,
it didn't happen overnight. And we're
it
still
real quick.
working.
I heard you were talking about the Iowa State play-by-play voice, Matt Campbell. Loves to coach his daughter's softball team. I'm actually coaching my daughter's softball fall ball right now. We had our first practice last night. So Matt Campbell and I have a lot in common.
You're the coach?
Yes,
the head coach.
I am the head coach of the. We haven't named yet. I told the girls to think about it and come up.
Okay,
with some
so how
names.
do you handle this? What's your daughter's name?
Evie.
All right, so Evie, let's say she's the best player on your team. Okay. Which I would imagine coming from good stuff,
I would say
she probably is.
She's middle. She's good, not great. How about that?
So
yeah,
Evie is up for All-Star. Are you going to give it to her?
Luckily, they don't do that here in fall ball.
Okay.
It's just so, yeah. But I will tell you, she's already told me all the positions she wants to play because I'm the head coach. And I told her it doesn't work that way. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
Plus, fall ball is a little more developmental. So we're trying to give lots of folks, a chance to, if you want to try and pitch, go for it. That kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just going to say, Matt Campbell and I have a lot in common.
Well, if you can't tell, I have a deep resentment against my father for not giving me the All-Star.
Oh,
I had totally.
Are we bringing back some?
Dude,
don't you remember how
I was like,
that
Dad,
was?
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He gave it to like Andrew Tomasio. I'm like, what? Dude, I'm the guy. Like,
Andrew, I've heard that he didn't deserve it.
Yeah, no.
But isn't that funny? Like, I remember our Mike DeLaGarza, the basketball coach in my hometown, used to have a camp every summer. And if you made All-Star at camp, you would get a T-shirt. And you would wear. I got it. Big guy.
It's like a Letterman.
Oh, it was like I think I wore it till there were holes in it because you're like, yeah, it was an All-Star. Because and here I am, 46, and I still remember what it's like to get that All-Star thing. Yeah.
The best Little League like lineup or I'm going to play this position story comes. It's introduction day, right? It's just Radnor Little League. I wasn't actually on this team. I heard this secondhand, but it's fact. And the coach is like, everybody say your name, right? And so they're just going around, and this kid, his name was. It was hyphenated before like the hyphenation. So his name was Paul Menard Catcher. Right. And he says, Paul Menard Catcher. And the coach pauses and he goes, we'll see about that.
That's awesome. And the kid's probably just like, oh.
Yeah. He's like, Christ,
That's awesome.
All right.
That's
Dan
awesome.
Ingham, First National Bank of Central Texas. Thanks so much for coming by.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next Wednesday. We're taking it to the bank. I'm on board with Dan, by the way. I'm going. I like that. I do like.